What's going on, guys? So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a position or in a situation or in a place where you just feel absolutely stuck? Like you're just so stuck that you're like, I have no idea how to figure this out. I can't see my way through it. I don't know who to ask. I've been feeling a certain way about this for the last several weeks or the last several months or just today. My business is gonna go down. I can't lose weight. I don't know how to talk to my partner. Whatever the case is, just think about anything. Stop right now and just think about any time, any moment where you have been and felt stuck. And again, stuck meaning you feel like you can't take a step forward because you don't know what the next step is. And so here's what's crazy. We all feel that. We all experience that. That happens to all of us. It has happened to me hundreds of times, maybe thousands. Like it is literally, it's human nature, right? We don't know everything. Elon Musk, one of the smartest people in the world, whether you like him or not, he also gets stuck. Like LeBron James, one of the top athletes in the world right now, he also gets stuck, right? He doesn't shoot 10 for 10 every single time. Nobody does. If we all get stuck, how do we get unstuck, right? If it's a mental roadblock or a psychological roadblock or an emotional roadblock or energetic roadblock, how do you get unstuck? Most of the time, and at least towards what I'm talking about, is any of those four things, right? Psychological, energetically, spiritual, emotionally. When we get stuck and we can't come up with the next solution and take a step forward, it's not necessarily the best place to be in, right? If you are a solution-based person, it kind of ends up becoming a norm and it kind of ends up becoming fun. At least for me, I love being in that space. And I wasn't always that way. I wasn't always the type of person that was solution-based. If anything, I was probably the opposite. And what really got me to a point of learning how to unstuck myself was becoming an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur or you know any entrepreneurs, you can ask just about all of them. And most of them will say like one of our number one jobs is to find solutions. We cannot afford to be stuck, right? We will get stuck. We all get stuck. Every single entrepreneur gets stuck. Every single business owner gets stuck. Everybody gets stuck. But by being an entrepreneur, you're constantly facing problems. You're constantly facing situations that require you to find a solution to them. I've experienced this so many times, not just because of business, but personally as well, that I sometimes don't know what to do. I sometimes don't know what my next step is. I sometimes am absolutely like lost. Just lost. And sometimes I kind of have an idea, but I still don't really know. And so I have found it a very key way to unstuck yourself. So you're going to ask, how do you unstuck yourself? Like, what do you do to unstuck yourself? And who can do this? Who can use this? Everybody can do this. Every single person can unstuck themselves if they truly try and wanted to. This solution, is not bulletproof, is not perfect, but I have found it to be very useful. And honestly, 9 out of 10 times it works. And I kind of just fell into it, right? I've told you guys this before, like, I look at patterns, I catch patterns, I catch my patterns, I catch other people's patterns. I'm a beast at catching patterns. Like, it is what I see, it is what I do. I started noticing the patterns within me, right? I was like, okay, I started noticing every time this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. And I started noticing there's actually a way to unstuck yourself. It is very easy and it's free, which is even crazier. It is free to unstuck yourself. So how do you unstuck yourself? The craziest part is that when this hit me, I was like, this is wild because this is not something that I would normally do. I've always been the type of person that's a lot more introverted. Like, I don't usually call people or reach out to people because like I want to see how they're doing. Like, it's not in my nature. It's not what I did in the past. It's not how I grew up doing that. But what I have found is that when I call people, I get solutions. When I call people, I end up getting an answer one way or another at some point, whether it's in that minute, 30 minutes later, a day later, a week later, whether it's on a phone call, on Zoom, in person, it doesn't matter. When I meet with people, when I talk with people and I talk through people, they talk through me and we're either, brainstorming or throwing ideas out there, or sometimes I'm just straight up asking them like, yo, you know anything about this, right? If it's something business related or anything like that, and vice versa. A lot of times people don't know the answer, but half the time they do. Half the time they've been through that situation, they've been through that problem, and they know exactly what to do. And there it is. There's half the solution. But sometimes people will tell you their thoughts on what they think, and it might not land at all. It might not even be true because that's their truth. And so how do you identify that? And here's the crazy part is you don't have to. People will tell you what they tell you based on their experiences, based on what they've gone through. And there's really nothing else you can do or change about that because it's what they see. But what they see and what they hear and what they're listening to could also apply to you. And even if it doesn't, 9 out of 10 times after calling somebody, talking to somebody, Zooming with somebody, meeting with a person with somebody, the solution that I've been trying to figure out when I felt stuck, I've gotten the answer almost every single time. I don't think there's no answer right now that I haven't quite figured out. And when I say that, like I have answers I'm trying to figure out right now, right? But I'm talking about answers from the past. Like everything that I've ever thought about in the past eventually has happened, right? If something came up for me in the last 24 hours, in the last few days or week, I might still not have an answer for it, right? But eventually I do. Eventually the answers come. Eventually I get unstuck, but it's because I believe that I could unstuck myself. I believe that I will find the solution, and eventually the solution comes. But just because I believe that, if I do nothing about it, doesn't mean anything. What I have found, again, very crucial, is talking to people. It is mind-blowing how much value you can get from somebody and vice versa. Imagine if you are somebody who never calls anybody, who doesn't talk to anybody, what are you missing out on, right? And if you are somebody who does it all the time, you might not even be aware that that's happening, right? Because you could be getting answers and solutions to things without even being consciously conscious that it's happening. It might be all subconscious, which is great. It happens, but imagine if it were all conscious, like you actually knew what was happening. You were clocking every single thing, and you knew how to maneuver and how to move around things to help yourself and help other people. It's a completely different ballgame. You're now like operating at a whole different level. And I've told you guys this before, like this channel is about mindset stuff. It's about like, how do you become the best possible person you can become and whatever you're trying to become, right? And you get to look at all these different things, at the emotional side, the spiritual side, the psychological side, the energetic side. Talking to people involves all those things, right? In one way, shape, or form. And so it is just mind-blowing how much value you can get from that. And so again, like we're not calling people and asking people to like, so they can give us a solution, right? Sometimes you just need to hear something that will end up lighting the light bulb in your brain, right? I think you'll be able to hear the message from God, or you'll be able to hear the message from the universe, or your brain, or whatever you want to call it. Like once you get that, you can hear it, you know where to head, where to go. And so it's crazy and cool how technology is so advanced today. You can get so much information from AI nowadays, but the human connection can also still amplify that. That's something AI will never give, right? The human connection will always give you some type of deeper connection with spirituality and emotion and energy, right? Just like all these different people talk about. Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of the best mindset hypnotists, energetic coaches out there, right? Lewis Howes, there's all these different people who talk about this stuff and how important it actually is. And so imagine using both, using AI and tech and all these different things, and at the same time also utilizing this. It is absolutely game-changing. So if you feel stuck, call somebody. You will hear something. You will hear some form of direction. And if you've experienced this before, like, let me know. Like I'm so curious to see if you have other methods on like hearing direction or unstucking yourself, because my way is not the only way. This is what's cool about this, is that my way is not the only way. It's the most effective way that I have found personally, by far the most effective. But if there's other ways, like let us know, because we all get to learn from this. So that is all I got for you guys today, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.